Woohoo! Bouncy girl!
Good morning. Welcome back to our home. We are talking all things math today. I actually have someone doing math right here behind me. Samuel just began teaching textbooks this year. He's in Math 3, which is the first level of teaching textbooks. He's 6 years old and he has been anxiously waiting to begin like his older siblings. And so whenever our family subscription renewed again this year, we went ahead and added him on because he had gone through the Math UC Alpha level and he was ready to start. So I'm going to talk to you about how we do math using teaching textbooks. Do you have a question, Samuel?
Okay, so remember what they taught you is that the tens place, the 6 and the 1, they match up. So when you're doing this in your head, you have to take the 6 minus the 1, and then the 7 minus the 0. Remember, we match them.
Okay, Samuel is done and headed outside, so let me see if I can talk to you for a few minutes here. Whew, math. If you have a child who really likes math, this subject is probably a breeze for you. But if you have a child who math is not their favorite subject, this could be an area that you have a lot of struggle, a lot of tears, a lot of mom against child in your home. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because I believe that we can move past that and that math can be another area that we can do, even if it's not their favorite, that they can do without it being painful. In my quest to have a homeschool that is delightful and enjoyable, I had to figure out how to overcome the tears that we were having with math. We did a different math program. It did have videos, but then it was worksheets, and it had gotten to the point where it was not working for us any longer. My older two kids, as they went, through the different levels, it was getting harder. They were doing the worksheets and maybe they would have not understood something, and so they were doing one thing wrong, and they would keep going all the way through front and back of that worksheet without me there over their shoulder telling them that they were doing something wrong. They would do it wrong over and over and over on every problem until I would, check it over at the end, realize it, and then it would be very discouraging to them. And we had a lot of tears and a lot of I don't like math. So a couple of years ago, we heard about teaching textbooks, and I went ahead and tried out if you go on their website, they have, you can get like the first 15 lessons of every level free, I think it is. So I went through and I tried that. And of course, it was very fun because it was novel. It was on the computer, which my kids really liked. There's little buddies that they really liked. And like with any math curriculum, things generally start off really easy at first because they're doing kind of review to get your mind going again. And so it was really fun, and I thought, I hope this isn't just, the newness, and then the newness will wear off and they won't like it anymore. But I didn't like where we were currently at, so I decided I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna jump in. And it's 2 years that we've been doing this, and we haven't looked back, and we are having great success. This is a huge blessing for me because I was one of those kids who was not a natural math person. It was a struggle for me. I didn't like it. If you saw my first video in this series where I talked about my own experience as a homeschooler, my mom tried to help me here and there. We went through algebra during my high school years, but it was a struggle. It just did not come easily to me, and she and I, we used an old Saxon math book. We were just kind of labored through it together, and we made it through. But I just knew with as many kids as I had that would all be in math at the same time, that I would not be able to sit down and labor through math every day with each individual child. I needed help. So the thing that I really appreciate about teaching textbooks is that instead of me being the teacher, trying to teach the concepts and motivate the child through it, they are the teacher. I'm just coming alongside of them. So each lesson has a lecture. It starts with a lecture, and then it has the problems that they do. If they get a problem wrong, they know immediately. The program will stop and say that they got it wrong. They'll have typically another chance to do it right. Just turn it on low, and then he can do that. That's fine. Thank you. They're talking to me through the window. So they will immediately stop, and you can get another chance to try again, and then you have an option that you can see how to do that problem. And so if they really don't understand it, a lot of times they'll check in with me, and maybe I'll talk through it, or we'll watch together to see how do you do it, and they'll walk you step by step through the problem and show you exactly how it needs to be done.
And sometimes one time or another you get hints.
Sometimes you can get hints. That's right. Elsie's over here working on her math right now. So this is her little buddy that she picked. It's a kitty cat.
Of course. You can pick out buddies.
Yep, there's lots of fun stuff, isn't there? Wallpaper.
And you can choose if you want buddy sounds only on sparkle sound. Yeah,
So Elsie is one of my people who enjoys doing math now that we have this program. And that is a great gift for Mama. If you're wondering all this back here, last night it dropped down to the low 30s, and so I brought all my little friends in. But today they're going in the garden. Last night was the last of the cold spells, it seems. Looking at the forecast coming up, it's going to get very warm finally. And so those plants are going in today. Actually, after I'm done talking to you, that's what I'm going out to do. Okay, so back to math. There's a few tools that I let my kids use when they're doing math, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the tools is this. Now, this might be a little controversial. Some parents would require their children, once they hit the multiplication level, to memorize the entire multiplication table then before they go forward. I have found with my kids, just like the concept that we talked about with language arts of copy work, that the more you do something, the more comfortable you get with it and the more you know it. So I have found that as they're doing the math, they slowly start to memorize this just by repetition. And by using this, by seeing the right answer over and over and over. So I let them use this. I let them have it out on the table. And when they get to a math problem, you know, like once you get into multiplication, like 38 times 54, they're learning about, you know, carrying and the different, multiplying the different place values and all those things. They can look on this. They are not repeating over and over to themselves that 8 times 2 is 17. I mean, they're not getting that wrong answer stuck in their minds because they're seeing this right answer over and over and over. And I've seen with my older kids, allowing them to use this as they have moved into upper levels, they're not using it so much anymore. It's like, a lot of times Leo never even gets this paper out because they've done it so many times with this that it becomes easier to rely on their memory. You're not having fun. You want to come up and say hi to the people? Can you tell them? Say, I got a tooth. Finally, I have a tooth. It was very difficult, and now I'm getting another one. These are the headphones that we use to make sure that people can do their math without being distracted. They are great. They cut out the sound. They're cheap. I think they're $9 or something like that on Amazon. I will find the link and put that below. I just kind of roam around so that I'm available if people need help. This poor girl. I wish her second tooth would come in. She's having a hard time. She wants Mommy to hold her all the time. All the time. It's got to be close. If one comes in, the second one usually follows, right? So, let's see. Samuel's done with his math. 3 kids are doing theirs. I still have Isabella. She's outside with the animals, so generally I have to kind of remind her to come in and finish because it's not always on the top of her mental list in her mind of things to do. Animal care is #1. She's very diligent. I never have to remind her to take care of the animals. She does 100% of the care. But math, I usually have to remind her. Time for math. So some days she chooses to do it right away in the mornings, and then she usually is really pleased when she does that because then it's just done and she can move on. But other days she saves it for later. So
I don't mind as long as it gets done. I don't mind if they do it early or late or in between. Oh, this poor girl. Yes. Okay, you're looking for the missing number. 6 plus what is 15? Or you could flip it around backwards and just do 15 minus 6. That would get you the same answer.
That's 9.
No! Bella just came in to do her math. What were you doing, Bella?
I was cleaning up in the rabbit.
Cleaning up. Catching eggs. Whoops! What are you doing? Uh-oh. When you dropped some of it erased. But you traced all of those? Good job. Nice. This is a book someone gave us. Let's flip it over. Someone gave us this book, and Jeremiah has been enjoying going through the pages, having some fun. And the back is a writing slate.
Any harm.
It won't do any harm. Is that what you said? Well, there you go. Won't do any harm.
I was also getting ready for the animals that are coming.
Oh, yes. We can't wait to tell people about the surprise that's coming. So Bella's still catching eggs in her hands. Can I be honest with you? I'm like afraid to stick my hand under a chicken at all, even to collect an egg, but you actually catch the eggs. Would you catch an egg? Sorry for asking you to talk with your mouth full. I shouldn't do that. Just nod, yes or no.
And if they're picking your hand when you take the
Right,
egg,
that's what I'm afraid of.
what I always do
No, tell me.
is you pick them back.
Bella like puts her hand under the chicken and catches eggs. I'm afraid to even collect an egg under a hen because I think it's gonna peck me.
Well, all of these hens are trained to
Not
gather
peck you.
eggs. There was one hen that, like, it's a way,
No way,
a
not
certain
for me.
way you can train them not to, but this one hen that was so vicious a long time ago, and she ended up being really sweet because I kept working with her. I was actually working with the rabbits today. Getting them more calm.
Good. Sorry, I need to do your
Which I
math.
can
Huh?
show you how I do it, and it's really
Bella,
wise.
I was trying to tell people that teaching textbooks had made it less painful for people to do math who aren't naturally math lovers.
I'm a math
Is that true? Good. Glad I'm representing correctly here.
Well,
Okay, so these two are finishing up. Actually, Elsie, you're done. Are you doing a second lesson?
What?
Did you decide to do a second lesson? Did you decide to do a second lesson? Because you're done. You're just doing another one.
Yeah. Mom, that's actually my third lesson. Mom, what?
We have these. Hi, cuties. We have these punch cards, we call them, and after they do 20 lessons or quizzes, then they get to pick a prize. And so when people get really close, they get excited, so they want to do extra lessons. Do you hear all the noise in here? This is why I had to buy kid headphones that were also sound canceling, so that they could focus. Hey, what are you doing down there? James, what are you doing? Something down there that you want? Slobber bucket baby, slobber bucket baby. How many chicken eggs have you caught this year in your hand?
starting on February, and it's May 23.
23. Congratulations.
Started. Thanks.
Do you feel like a chicken midwife?
No. No, but you learn a lot. No, just like not catching eggs, just like behavior if you spend a lot of time with them.
I'm sure you know them well.
Bella's gonna grow up to be a midwife. She's already.
Chicken midwife.
There is one chicken that I think is hilarious. Most of the chickens I can't tell apart, but one chicken thinks she's a cat.
Wait,
And
let me-
every morning when we feed the cats up in, not on the ground, we feed them up in the loft of the barn. She
have a
comes
ladder.
running up the ladder to come eat the cat food,
She
just like
jumps
they do.
the rings two at
Yeah.
a time.
Yeah, she thinks she's a cat. So we have 2 cats and 1 chicken up there.
If you want, I can get footage of
We
her
definitely need to record that because it's hilarious. We need to show them.
Okay, it's a little bit quieter in here than it was before. So quickly before I close, I just wanted to encourage you that if you are having a lot of math struggles with a child in your home, perhaps it would be okay to back them up. If you have a child who you know has a gifting for math and will go into a career that probably requires a lot of upper level math, then it is okay to keep pushing forward and expecting them to go like when you get into the high school years, to really go into a lot of advanced math. But we do not have to expect all of our children to follow the same path in life. And for some of our kids, upper level math is not going to be a necessary part in their life. They're going to choose professions, or God will lead them in a certain way in life that they're just not going to need all those upper level things. And I just want to give you permission to say it's okay, as my kid goes into the high school years, if we are not pushing and pushing for those upper level maths to be completed. Our job as Christian homeschooling moms is to equip our children for the plan that God has for their life, not to require them to excel at everything. So if you're having struggles, what I would recommend is you may have to completely switch math curriculums to do this, because otherwise they're going to be repeating the same thing they've already done. But like for us, when we went into teaching textbooks, I bumped my kids back in math. I knew it was a fresh start for us, and I would rather my kids have a great self-confidence about math, a feeling of like, I can do this, I am good at this, rather than be in an upper, a higher level math right now. So I'm not looking around to what other 12-year-olds are doing at the math level they're in, or the average math level. I would rather my child be in a little bit easier level and have greater self-confidence, because then they're going to keep moving forward. The only way with progress in math is in higher levels. You're going to move that direction, but there's no reason to try to hurry up and force them to do things now that they could do later when they have a little bit more maturity. I actually read an article. It was a study done many, many years ago. I will see if I can find that. If I can, I'll link that in the description box. It was a man who did studies on, he actually took kids, if I'm remembering this right, it's been a while. It was kids who were in a very poor area that didn't have the opportunities that other kids at that time had. And he actually got permission to experiment and not give them any formal math training at all in their elementary years. At all. None. And then I want to say it was probably not until 8th grade, maybe 6th or 8th, that they started formal math training then. So all those years they had none. Started at that later age, and he found that they easily caught up and then surpassed what kids their age were doing, because they were being introduced these easier concepts at a later age when their brain was more mature. Like I said, I'll try to find that article so I can reread it for myself, and you can read it too. But I remember being very amazed at that concept, that in this area where we have a tendency to want to really push kids so that we make sure they excel, that it may be an advantage to actually delay introducing concepts until they're a little older. So it's just something to think about. You know your child, and I really think, especially from talking to many of you through messages or in the comments, I think you know already what your child needs, but you're feeling pressure from other people or from your own expectations to keep pushing them in areas where they're, you know that's not what you should be doing, but instead you're thinking like, well, I need to push them. They're probably just not wanting to do the work. And so it's my job to make sure that they learn self-discipline and they keep pushing forward when it's hard. And I do think there's a place for that. That's an important part of becoming a well-rounded adult. However, if the Holy Spirit is leading you, saying that you need to back off on something, that you need to reduce the intensity of what you're teaching or how long they're working on it or what it is, if you're feeling that within you, don't ignore that feeling, because you are an advocate for your child. You are helping them to develop the self-esteem that you want them to have. And that confidence is worth way more than advanced math skills. You cannot get that confidence back. If you go into adulthood thinking, I'm terrible at math, you're going to keep that idea about yourself unless you intentionally set about to change it. But if you go into adulthood thinking, I'm good at math, even if you have no idea how to do upper level math, if you have that mindset of I'm good at this, you'll be able to figure that out if you need to, because you have that resiliency that at a later date, it will carry you through. So I hear Lydia fussing. Bella's been carrying her around for me a little bit. So I will end there, but I just want to say, reassess and have confidence to do what is best for your child. So I will see you tomorrow. I think maybe it's science is the topic tomorrow. I've got to look at my schedule for this month here, but I'm really enjoying this. Also, a little side note, Jason and I separately are recording some videos about biblical finances. Yesterday we posted a little introduction to what's coming up, and I think we'll be sharing those on Sundays, so keep your eye open for that, and if you would like, you could join us in that series as well. I will see you all tomorrow. I am so grateful to be in this community here. I love you all. Bye-bye.